What's up with all the tattoos, man? What's going on? You got.
What? You want to know the truth?
Yes, I want to know the truth.
All right, brother. I got tired of my face, man. I had that face for 28 years. I wanted a new face.
Something major happened to him while he was locked up. And this him when he first went in. And they're saying he lost a spark in his eyes that he once had, and something majorly wrong allegedly happened to him.
Blueface walked out of prison looking like he came back from another world, and people online noticed it the second the videos dropped. The new face tattoos, the blank stare, the switched up voice, everything about him feels like somebody hit a reset button on his whole personality.
Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessfully. That's how you understand what a ritual is.
His energy doesn't match the guy we knew before he went in, and the internet wasted no time picking it apart. Katt has been warning for years about humiliation rituals, talking about how the industry breaks someone down, rebuilds them from scratch, and then sends them back out looking like they're following someone's orders.
Is the new Blueface. Very, very different. There's a lot going on over here. I feel like somebody forced him to do this. This wasn't consensual.
And now people are looking at Blueface thinking, hold on, did it finally happen to him? Some folks online argue that Blueface isn't even a big enough name for any secret group or industry power to run a ritual on him. But that's the part that people miss. The idea isn't that he is important, it's that he's a symbol, someone.
Second to myself. Second to myself, man. Get out of here. You know what I mean? Gotta let them know what time it is. I'm dead on me. Okay.
The public knows just enough to understand the message. He's branded, controlled, and owned. But the real question everyone is asking is simple. Are people reading too deep into this? Or is something about his transformation just too strange to ignore? Yes, he gained weight, but that's normal after being locked up. What's making everyone uneasy is how different his whole vibe is now. His spirit looks heavier, his face looks drained, and even the way he moves feels off. Another theory floating around is that he didn't choose those tattoos at all. People are saying he might have been pushed into it by prison gangs, which is something that actually happens behind those walls.
That's what makes information so powerful is, you don't care how people feel about the ritual. It's about, does following the ritual work? Yeah. And so you can fool yourself into thinking there isn't one, but the evidence will be clear. So like when I be like, oh, these guys are wearing dresses. Everybody's like, oh, he keeps talking about people wearing dresses. No, it's not.
That is a weird thing.
It's not like that. Look at it from a different way. Look at it. Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessfully. That's how you understand what a ritual is.
They don't always need a reason. Sometimes it's just amusement for them, and Blueface could have gone along with it because he didn't want problems with anybody in there. Like it's a rough environment, and everyone knows you either keep your head down or deal with consequences you don't want. But that's only one side of it. That got the deeper, more unsettling angle goes back to something Katt talked about a long time ago, the dress ritual. People used to laugh at that conversation, acting like it was all about some outfit on screen, but Katt said the clothes were never the point. What he meant was that it symbolized surrender, giving up your power, letting someone higher up decide how you look and how you move. So when folks look at Blueface now, covered in random logos across his face, walking around with a new expression like he's not in control, they're wondering if this was another version of that same ritual Katt warned about. Whether it came from the industry, the streets, or the prison system, people feel like Blueface walked out wearing someone else's choices, not his own. But Katt didn't end his warnings there. He pushed it even further, claiming that the strange outfits, the branding type tattoos, the staged humiliation, and the fake drama all connect to what he calls a deeper spiritual agenda.
So 20 years ago, I knew that transgenders was going to be a thing. It wasn't because I was a prophet. It's just I had gotten so much information that I understood that things are secular. So I understood that the earliest I had seen that word transgender was Baphomet, the transgender. And so I knew that in the ritual of Baphomet, the transgender, to show allegiance to him, you had to kiss his ass ring.
Really?
And it said both of those things. So I knew that both of those things would become popular in the future. And that somehow calling people the GOAT would be normalized over the sheep being always the most popular reference.
Pushed by industry elites. He believes they're tied to something he refers to as Baphomet worship, a symbol he says is used by people in power to show who they control. Now, you don't even have to accept this whole Baphomet idea to understand that the entertainment world is filled with people who play by their own rules. It's a place where the goal, like Kanye once said, is to control, traumatize, and monetize. And that line hit people hard because it sounded way too real. Katt has been talking about this same pattern for years, saying the industry uses emotional pressure, humiliation, and stage chaos to break down certain individuals who they feel need to be reshaped. He's talked about actors getting pushed into roles that embarrass them, comedians being pressured into doing things that make them look foolish, and celebrities suddenly acting in ways that don't match the people they used to be. And he insists the key isn't the dress or the outfit, or in Blueface's situation, the tattoos. It's about breaking a person's inner strength and making them feel like someone else is calling the shots.
In Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize.
Katt never said it was just about prison, and honestly, he didn't even have to mention it because the pattern shows up everywhere. Power works the same way no matter where it is, whether it's Hollywood executives pulling strings or the people who control the prison system. And let's be real, both worlds run on the same structure of control, pressure, and silence, just dressed up in different uniforms. The logic stays the same no matter where you look. If someone in power wants to humble you, reshape you, or use you as a warning, they'll do it in a way that the entire world can't ignore. And when people say Blueface came out of prison looking exactly like the situations Katt described, it's not some random idea people pulled out of thin air.
Everybody's not the same. That's why when I said that, nobody came out and went, "That's not true. I'm on God's side." Like, none of them. The conversation was to show that there are spiritual things going on in the world, and that there are things that are bigger than just coincidence, and that a ritual is something that you do over and over and over again a certain way.
There's a pattern here that fans have seen before, and it always gets people talking. Think back to Gucci Mane. His transformation was so extreme that people still whisper about him like he was switched out for a different version of himself. And that's where the theory locks in. You take a celebrity who is already chaotic, already wild, already surrounded by controversy, and you push them right to the edge, but not far enough to destroy them, just far enough to crack something inside. It's a controlled breakdown, the kind that strips the person of who they were without fully removing their usefulness. And once that break happens, isolation becomes the next step. Nothing makes a person feel more alone and more vulnerable than being locked up, surrounded by people you don't know, and living by rules you can't control. When Blueface first walked into prison, he was loud, confident, and moving like nothing could touch him. But when he walked out, people said he looked like somebody who'd been spiritually drained, like the spark behind his eyes had been dimmed, which brings us right back to those face tattoos, because the internet did not hold back on that conversation. There are several theories floating around about what those marks could mean, and every one of them suggests something bigger than just a new look. Some people think they were forced, some think they were symbolic, and some believe they were part of something deeper that happened behind those walls. One theory floating around is that Blueface didn't pick this new image at all, and that other inmates marked him with these tattoos because they're way too random looking and too intentionally rough to match his usual style. People are saying the designs look more like someone stamped him than someone expressing themselves, which is a heavy thought to even consider, but the internet is running with it because the whole look feels strangely calculated.
I'm sorry, brother. I didn't mean to shoot you, bro. If you seeing this, forgive me, man. It's a true apology. I took a couple classes in there too.
For real?
Yep, Civilization University. I went to school for that.
That's cool.
Couple classes.
That's good growth, man. It's great to hear.
Then there's another group saying these logos might not be random whatsoever. They think these marks are coded messages meant for industry insiders, the kind of signs regular people don't understand but folks behind the scenes recognize instantly. Every time a celebrity goes through a public humiliation spiral, something visually strange happens. Something the public can't decode, but insiders supposedly can. Britney shaved her head, Kanye went through the mask era, Orlando Brown started speaking like his mind was connected to another dimension, and now Blueface walks out of prison covered in face logos. It makes people wonder if there's a message being delivered right in front of everyone. Some conspiracy folks even claim each symbol on Blueface's face is a step in some ritual, not a tattoo of a brand, but a marker of a phase. They say it tracks the process someone supposedly goes through when they're being broken down and rebuilt. Nobody can confirm that, but the theory refuses to die because the timing and the look feel way too unusual. But maybe it really isn't that deep. Maybe the simplest explanation is the real one. Blueface could have been in a bad situation inside, and the tattoos were a way to avoid worse trouble. Some fans actually believe he went along with it because it was safer for him to cooperate rather than push back. In that environment, people sometimes do things just to make sure they walk out in one piece. Literally, if you catch the meaning, this whole situation feels deeper than just a few tattoos slapped on during prison time. No matter which side you're on, whether you think this is conspiracy level behavior or just the rough reality of serving time, the end result hits the same way. Blueface walked out of those gates looking like someone who went through a full reset, and it's hard to pretend he's the same person he was before. His energy shifted, the way he carries himself shifted. Even the way he looks at the camera feels completely different. You can't watch the recent clips and say nothing changed because something definitely cracked on the inside and flipped the whole frequency around him. So now the big question becomes, what do you think happened here? Is everybody making too big of a deal out of this humiliation ritual talk? Or is there a reason people are connecting all these dots and seeing a pattern? Like, do you think this is just Blueface dealing with other inmates and coming out bruised and hit and branded? Or is there a layer here we're not supposed to understand? Some people think it's a message, some people think it's a warning, and others believe it's a type of forced branding meant to remind him and everyone watching who has the power. And if this really is the kind of ritual Katt talked about, then what exactly are they trying to say by putting celebrities through these situations one by one? What's the purpose behind breaking someone down in front of millions of people? Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell me if you feel like the world is overreacting or if something bigger is happening right under our noses. If you like this video, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and comment, and I'll see you in the next one.